Cheez-It Tostadas calling my name.
I saw that this morning on the Discord. I'm like, I wish we had stuff like that over here. We just don't get it.
Well, did you see what Scott had? He had a in Norway yesterday. He had a Big Mac that was like a taco. It was
there's like nachos and salsa. Yeah, I'm down for that. I am down for that.
Me too. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, I need a little of that in my life. Okay, like Fjords, cool. Big Mac that's a taco. Okay, now sign me up for that.
I'm interested.
Exactly. I mean, he knows how to hook me in. And then last night, so I'm doing the live show last night, and I got a prank caller. I don't know if you heard that, but yeah, oh yeah, dude had me going for the he had all these scenarios. Like I couldn't tell if he was a prank caller till the third thing. Yeah, it totally got me. It totally got me, man. Anyway,
just some random dude. Okay.
Oh yeah, dude. Phil from Connecticut, man. I had to play it for my wife. We went for a walk after the show. I'm like, dude, I got.
Wow,
pretty good. Yeah, he got me. Yeah, he was asking me about a tourist that had a rubber chicken in Adventureland. I was like, is this guy for real? Is he for real or no? What? Because I'm trying to be nice. No. And then it was like also was singing in Japanese in Epcot. No. What? Yeah, see, Deanna's on Instagram. She says that prank call was wild. I know. It was wild. I was like, what? Anyway. All right, so everybody, we're here. We are going to be doing listener questions with Simon. We're so excited to have Simon here. It's late over in the UK, so we're going to get rocking. The phone lines are going to be open as well. So actually, I should probably do this. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's go Sunday night. Where's Sunday night? Where is it? There it is. So we'll put the phone number up here. So if you handled it like a pro, I'm not a pro. I just third one, I was like, "You're out of here, dude. See ya." I hung up on him. But I had my finger waving over the button in case he cussed because we don't have a. Actually, I do have a dump button. It's right here in case. But I didn't have it ready to go because I would have.
Yeah, so it's just
it had been a day late and $1 short on that guy. But yeah, man.
I'm gonna catch up on that.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was 52 minutes in. So just so you know, I gotta send it to Scott. I'm like, Scott, dude, you go to Norway and I get, this guy Philip from Connecticut calling me and asking about rubber chickens in Adventureland. And
they know you're alone. They're trying to take advantage of it.
100%. I'm gullible as anything. Like Phil from Connecticut. I'm going next time.
The BOGP gets X-rated.
Exactly. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, yeah, Thursday, 52 minutes in. So stick to the end because dude, he got me. And then Matt calls in and saves me and we wrap up the show. Okay, so listener questions. We have one from Kevin that I've been meaning to answer for like 2 weeks. He's been asking in the Discord, like, Mike, when are you going to answer my question? You keep asking. I keep forgetting. So we're going to answer that out of the inbox. But you can call in, you can ask. We need questions in the comments. So please ask questions in the comments. We need questions for that. It's going to be a 40-minute in and out. Then we're going to do a Friday show, probably focused on international travel, stuff that Simon's going to be an expert in. But anything you guys want to talk about, we're here.
Expert is a loose term, though, right?
You are an expert. You travel all over the place in first class. If anybody needs an expert, like I'm an expert in flying Southwest with my knees jammed into the seat in front of me. And just kind of peeking out the window and holding my breath for 2.5 hours down to Orlando.
Let me tell you that. I mean, we'll get to it in that show, but there's no first class when you're traveling with 2 children under 6.
Well, I mean, whatever. You do better than I do, I can say. Your travel, I think. Okay, so let's start the show. Let's have some fun. So that's all this is about. And the kids are all away, so we're just going to play this week. So here we go. So let's see. We're 25-11. You know what? We're gonna do it the normal way to start. Then we're gonna have some fun with the second. We're gonna do 2 intros. So here we go. Let's see. Do it the normal way. And then we're gonna have fun. All right, here we go. Oh, of course that does that. The software is screwed up. Let me pop this. Delete that file. Select it later. Oh. Bring this here and try it again. Welcome to episode 2511 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week, and we're going to have a good time today answering your listener questions because it is midweek. But hey, today's going to be a lot different. So stand by because, well, if you know, Pam is she's in the Appalachians. She's in the Adirondacks. She's up in Tennessee at a wedding this week, so she's unavailable. Scotty, if you're over in the Discord at the Be Our Guest Podcast Clubhouse, he has become a Viking. He is one with the Norwegians, drinking his pints, watching soccer with like in the clubs. I mean, he is he's all bundled up. He's living his best life, man. You got to look at the selfies over in the Discord, beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. Check it out. He's updating hourly. He's really messed up though, because apparently the sun has not gone down on him like Elton John and George Michael. The sun is not going down on this dude, and he is texting me at all hours of the day, and I love it. I mean, he's got his comfort, like Elizabeth has the comforter from the bed on the balcony, and they're watching the sunrise, the sunset. I can't tell which one is which because the hours are so different where we are in the world. Living his best life, so he's obviously not here. Ricky, her husband's out of town, so she couldn't join us this week. So we have a guest co-host, and we're gonna answer your listener questions, but we're gonna do this with the phone lines open at 407-413-9395. So when we have the phone lines open, we have the house band. So here we go. We got to have the house band like a Sunday night.
Yeah.
We're bringing them in. So I got to have this to introduce my co-host live from the United Kingdom. And he is a legend. And I don't know if it's because of his son who sticks out his belly. I think it's at the Pop Century pool. I don't know. It's at a pool around Walt Disney World. Sully. But tonight, joining us from the UK to answer your listener questions, we're going to have a great time. Your friend and mine, Simon, joining us. Return trip here. He's going to be here with us on Friday as well. So, Simon, thanks for coming on the show again with us today. We're glad to have you. So, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Mike. What an intro. I mean, I feel like I'm on like Saturday Night Live or something like it's crazy.
Hey, I mean, you know what? The other three are away. Let's play. Let's have
absolutely. Yeah, I was following along with Scott and the Discord on that Norway trip, and man, it's beautiful out there for sure. But I'm here. I'm ready to talk some Disney. I've been away a bit myself, but I'm back. So let's get stuck in, Mike. Let's have some fun. But you know, I think you're right. Sully is definitely the pull, right? He's the one everybody wants. It's like, you know, you're waiting for the star player to come out, and it's like, oh, he's not ready yet. We'll send out the sub. That's me. I'm here.
That's a story of my life too. You know, I have two daughters, and you know, I'm just kind of the cheer dad that pays the bills. But you know, that's my lot in life, and I'm fine with that. So we're good. That's just how it is. All right. So we have a question. Like I said, Kevin, my good buddy over in the Discord, he's had a question like, Mike, you can't answer my question. You keep forgetting. And I apologize. I have forgotten to hit this one in the inbox because it got kind of buried each week. And we're going to hit this one right off the top. So Kevin says, I have a trip planning question for the show. Next year, he'd like to stay at Walt Disney World for 2 weeks. Ideally, he'd like to go to a park every other day. He says, I know that when you buy your tickets, though, Disney asks which days you're going to go to the parks. In other words, if you buy a 4-day ticket, don't you have to use it in 1 week? If so, how can I make my plan work? Thanks, Kevin. Okay, so I don't know if you've used your tickets recently, and I know UK tickets are different, so it's going to be kind of interesting for you. But the tickets that we buy here in the States, and I know Kevin's out in Ohio, is that our Magic Your Way tickets, you get basically what I like to call like a +2 days to use your ticket. So if you buy a 7-day Magic Your Way Park Hopper ticket, you have 9 days from first use to use that ticket. So it is going to be kind of a challenge. So if he wants to go for 2 weeks, he's going to have to buy his ticket and use it within, you know, so if he buys a 9-day ticket, he's going to have to use it within 11 days, which makes it kind of a challenge to do the 2-week thing. Now, what he can do is buy a Park Hopper a Park Hopper Plus and use like water parks to supplement that would be his best option there. I don't know, what does it look like for you guys though, because you guys have that 14-day ticket over there in the UK, which
So
I'm not familiar with because we can't sell it as travel.
yeah, exactly. So it's a very similar concept to what you were just saying. So our 14-day ticket is actually good for 18 days. So that gives us 4 days in those 14 extra as buffer days. So, you know, similar to what Kevin's saying, is we like to have a few days in the parks, take a rest day, and instead of feeling like you've wasted that day, you've lost that day on the ticket, it doesn't matter because you've got those buffer days. And, you know, we'll put in like a water park and, you know, go Disney Springs, that sort of thing. So very much in the same way, but as is just longer, because it makes most sense for us most of the time to have that 2-week ticket. But it's good for 18 days, which is good for us because we like to stay a few extra days as well. So I think you're right. I mean, he's probably going to have to buy 2 of the. Again, I'm not familiar with exactly how your tickets are or what they look like, but assuming that a 4-day is the longest day one you can have, I don't know if that is right or not. You would then need, I guess, 2 or 3 of those.
Well, so, you know, he could buy so we can buy 10-day tickets. That's
right.
All. Okay. So he could buy a 10-day ticket. And really it becomes, with our tickets, because we have Magic Your Way tickets, it becomes really economical to add days on once you hit like day 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. They're very inexpensive to add days on to your tickets at that point. They really front load the cost from like days 1 through 5. They're more expensive there. Once you add day 6, day 7, it's like few dollars per day.
And that's like smart business sense, right? Because to them, most people are just going to come for 2, 3, 4 days. So it's a bit like what they do in Paris. They do exactly the same thing in Paris. The most you can get is a 4-day ticket. If you want to go beyond 4 days, and they don't have any buffer days, so if you want to go beyond 4 days with them, it's tough. You just have to buy extra days, but they don't discount it. It's full cost. So that there's no real incentive to buy in additional 1 days. You would then go to buy in another 4-day because that would be the cheapest way to do it. So I like your system though, just being able to add 1 day at a reduced cost. That's great.
Yeah, so here you got to start over basically at day 1 after day 10. So you want to avoid that at all costs. You know? So what I would say is just do the 10-day ticket, and then, you know, just go into the parks for 10 days and find things to do for those other 4 days. You know, you could spend a day at the boardwalk and play mini golf if you want, or just visit the other resorts, you know, and like I say, supplement with water parks for 2 or 3 days, and you have 2 weeks and you've taken advantage of a 10-day ticket, which is available in the United States.
With that 10-day ticket then, Mike, would you have any additional buffer days in there that they grant you, or is it 10 days and you use 10 days or you don't?
You would have 12 because you get 10 plus 2. So you'd have 12 days to use it and you could fill in. Yeah.
Excellent. That is definitely the way to go.
Yep. From first use. So that is kind of interesting because how the tickets are different from you guys getting them over in the UK 14-day, and we get, I don't know why they do that. I mean, I understand that you guys come over for longer because of the length of travel and the cost associated with traveling from such a distance. But I also don't understand why they wouldn't sell those to the United States market, other than maybe they just want us to buy. I don't know. Like, do they not want us to stay for 2 weeks? I mean, it seems like, I don't know why they wouldn't want us to.
I don't know. I guess there's some guy who's far smarter than us with numbers sitting in an office somewhere who knows why it makes sense, right? They must look at the average travel of, you know, someone from the UK or abroad and say, okay, well, they're coming for sort of 2 weeks. How can they encourage us to spend all of that time in Disney rather than maybe splitting that up between Disney and Universal or Disney and SeaWorld? Maybe that's why, because if we come in for 2 weeks, they know they've got 2 weeks to, I don't know, grab our attention for as long as possible, and doing a ticket that covers the whole time would certainly do that.
I guess that makes sense. All right. So now, do you sail Disney Cruise Line ever? I haven't asked you that.
No. So I've never sailed Disney Cruise Line, but I have sailed and worked on P&O, Celebrity, so a lot of cruise lines. I've actually been on the trip that Scott is on now, but working. So
really,
I have the exact trip. So I sing on the ship, so I'll fly out and be on a ship for a week and sing a couple of nights in that week with the group that I'm in. And so when he's in Stavanger, I was like, oh, you need to search for this there's like a giant statue of a turtle. And I was telling him, like, you need to go find it, but I don't know whether he found it or not. But yeah, it's beautiful. Where he is right now is beautiful. But no, Disney Cruise Line is a bit of a bucket list for us. We've not got there yet, but I'm sure we're going to make it happen soon.
I'm sure Scott is going to sing on this cruise. Now he's not going to sing professionally, or definitely not get paid. But
he's going to find karaoke though, right?
Oh, for sure. I'm sure he's singing on this cruise. Okay, so we're going to answer this question. It's a Disney Cruise Line question, but I mean, you could. Well, hey, you know what? We got a call coming in. I forgot to mute the phone line, so yeah, can't hide it. So here we go. Let's take the call, and then we'll get to the Disney fantasy question because I'll be on the fantasy in just a week, so I want to talk about that. But let's get the call. I mean, that's why the phone lines are here. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike, it's Graham from Scotland, but you might know me as Mohawk Scotland from the Discord.
I love it. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Hey, Simon.
It's Graham, right? Because I always call you Mohawk because I just think that's the coolest thing ever, and I'm always going to call you that because that's this jams. But
Mohawk's fine, yeah.
I love it. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
I think we stick with Mohawk.
I think so too. Yeah. I love it. That's awesome. Thanks for calling.
No worries. So I'm 481 days out from my next trip to the Magic, but as most people who are Disney mad, I've started planning my advanced dining reservations already. But I have a question. When I'm going to be there next year, it's going to be my 40th birthday year and my wife's 40th birthday year as well. So we're looking for a really nice restaurant, but not too fancy because we don't really do fancy food. We prefer more straightforward. So I was wondering if you guys had any kind of tips about where we could go, maybe somewhere that we can see the fireworks afterwards as well.
Well, I'll give that to Simon first. What do you think?
Do you know what? I'm gonna jump in with something I was thinking about today because they've been talking about the Fantasmic dinner package recently. We're very similar to you, Mohawk, that we like nice food and nice meals and stuff, but as we've got the kids, it gets harder to do those really fancy dinners, right? So on our last trip, we went to Mama Melrose. Now, we'd never been there before. And I guess opinion differs based on what your taste is, but very Italian, very really nice date night. The decor in there is beautiful. Like the theming is really, really good. We had like a big jug of sangria and 3-course dinner, and the food was beautiful. The music, the atmosphere. So I think you get that really nice sort of celebration date night mode. But then because we did the Fantasmic dining package, we then had pretty much guaranteed best seats in the house for Fantasmic afterwards. So I would think as something not, typically go to Magic Kingdom or whatever, that is something I would suggest to look into because we loved that. And even though the kids were there, we really got that feel of this feels a bit special to us.
Yeah, because obviously everyone thinks of Magic Kingdom as being the main one, but maybe the Fantasmic ones sort of slip under the radar a little bit. That's a really good shout. What about you, Mike?
I was kind of in that same area too. When you're thinking of a nice, good meal, and it's funny because I'm thinking Italian food as well. And I was having this conversation with my wife last night because her mom and sisters are going down right before us. They're going on the Wish. We're going on the Fantasy, and we're kind of overlapping. We're going to be there at the same time. And my wife, one of her favorite restaurants is Trattoria Al Forno, which is on the boardwalk, which is another really good meal, but it's not super fancy, but it's fancy enough for us. Cause when you describe that, that's us. We don't like super fancy, but we like a good meal and we love the food there. The food there is really good. It's comfortable. It's fancy enough for us. It's not, it's not Victorian Alberts. It's not Citricos. It's not Narcoossee's. It's just right for us. And you could be able to easily walk over to Epcot or to the studios, see Fantasmic, or to see Luminous, whichever one. It pairs well. And there's a lot of entertainment on the boardwalk too, so you could do either one of those. And that's kind of a good night there. And it's right down the middle as far as your expense. So is Mama, but Mama Melrose, I am a huge fan of that place. That's a sleeper hit. I eat there every night before the marathon. And I love that restaurant.
We found it for the first time on our last trip.
Sorry, Simon.
I was just saying we found it for the first time on our last trip. And we were really surprised by how much we enjoyed it. And when we got in there, you almost it sounds crazy, but we almost forgot we were in the park because the atmosphere really sort of enveloped you. It was lovely. It really was.
It's not really been one on my radar at all. I think it sort of gets forgotten about as one of the Hollywood studios. But obviously, you think of sci-fi, dine-in theater, you think of 50s prime time, and the Brown Derby is the sort of three majorish ones that everyone thinks of. But Mama Melrose, I'm really going to have a look at that. Yeah, that's been really helpful, guys. Thank you. Quick question about rubber chickens and Adventureland.
I love you. That's why I love our family, man. You guys tell me that guy didn't have me because you were here. That guy had me go, man. He had me on the hook for like, I was like, the first one, I was like, maybe. And the second one, I'm like, no. And the third one, we started talking about the posters on Space Mountain. I'm like, okay, dude, you're gone. I'm like, you're out of here, Phil. I had to tell my wife.
I know this podcast is going to land before Thursday's one, but really, guys, you have to have a listen to it on Thursday.
listen to Mike get got, because I got. Real quick, over on Instagram, Skyliner Story says another suggestion, and I agree, this is a good one too. Kona Cafe, and you could watch the fireworks from the Polynesian beach. That's a solid option there. So well done over there.
That is.
Yeah,
we're probably going to do Ohana for a morning character meet and greet during the character breakfast during the vacations. So yeah, Kona might be a nice one to tie in with as well.
That's a good one. Yeah, Kona's always good.
Yeah, go on.
No, Kona's always a good restaurant. I like the ambiance there. Just walking through the Polynesian just feels good. You know, it feels very Disney. I make it a point to even if I just go to Captain Cook's, you just have to spend some time at the Poly.
Yep. Well, I'll not take up any more of your time. Have a lovely evening, gentlemen. And
Mohawk, one more thing. Sorry to see that Scotland went at the Euros after the grief you were giving me on the Discord. Can I count on your support for the rest of the tournament?
Oh, you will. It's to be expected. I don't expect Scotland to do very well in the soccer. I'll be backing England to get as far as they possibly can.
Oh, bless you.
Let me just say something, Mohawk. I have to personally thank you. You bring so much energy over to the clubhouse, to our Discord channel, and it gives it such a flavor and a flair. And I can't thank you enough for that, because it makes the place fun for me and for all of us. And I don't get to say thank you enough, and I just want to say that right here. So thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for what you do for all of us. It means a lot to me. And
thanks to you for having us. So thanks, guys.
I appreciate it. Hope we get to see you in the parks and buy you a soda someday. It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take care.
Take care, man.
All right. Bye-bye. All righty. 407-413-9395. You can join the show just like our good friend Mohawk over in Scotland. I love this. Like you guys were talking about your Euros there, and
I just popped in out of nowhere. Hadn't been in for a while, and he was boom. He was straight on me. He's great though, Mike. Like you're right in the Discord. Mohawk is like on every channel in the Discord. Like, dude is everywhere. Like, I love it. I don't know if he needs to be like an admin or something.
I'd let him. I mean, I don't know. Brilliant. I barely know how that place works. People are always asking me, like, I'm new to the place. How does it work? And I'm like, I don't know.
Ask Mohawk.
Yeah, seriously. I'm barely hanging on myself. Like, did you hear me on Thursday on the live show? I don't know, dude. I get got all the time. Okay. Kevin's calling in. All right, our friend, we just answered his question. So let's get Kevin in here. He's jumping in here from Ohio. Kevin, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, but how are you guys?
We're doing great, brother. Good to talk
Kevin,
to you.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what you were saying. The answer to my question, but I have you. Can you explain it one more time, please?
Sure, we can explain it one more time. So with your tickets in the United States, we're kind of describing our differences because there's different tickets for international guests, right? So
right.
We're stuck with shorter tickets here in the US. So we can only buy 10-day tickets, and you get plus 2 days to use them. So you will get, if you buy them, you get 2 more days to use them. You basically get 2 kind of buffer days. You get 2 down days within the first day of use. So you have 2 extra days to use them. So you have 2 days in there that you could not go to the parks and just chill. But you have to use them within 12 days if you get a 10-day ticket. you get a 7-day ticket, you have 9
Yeah.
days. So that's how it works.
But
Yeah.
but if I like I said my email, so I basically can't go every other day because if I do, I will be wasting a day.
What's so
So
Go ahead.
what I think is that you have 10 days access to the parks with that 10-day ticket. So you have those 10 days no matter what, and you can use them
Yeah,
inside of 12. So you could do day 1 to 4, go to the park day 1 to 4, have a rest on day 5.
Mhm.
You would still have 6 more days to go into the park. So you could do another 4
No.
days, have a rest day, and then another 2 days. So you could split it up however you want. But you definitely can go into the park 10 days out of 12 in any order that you want to.
correct. Yep, that's right.
right. But like I said, I just would like to hit every park and have a rest day in between.
So you want to go like
You know
park.
what I'm
So you want to do
saying?
like, I see what you're saying, because like you want to do like park rest, like
Yeah,
kind of like a pattern.
yeah,
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like these tickets are not made for that. And it's a shame. I mean, and here's the other thing. Here's where these tickets don't work like they used to as well, because they used to work better for this. Say you're going on a cruise, right? And you want to buy like a 4-day ticket and you're going on a cruise in between. You know what I'm saying? Like you go
yeah,
to the park for like 2 days and you're going on a 4-day cruise, and then you're going to come back and you want to go to the parks for a couple days after the cruise. It doesn't work because you only get 2 days buffer, so your ticket expires while you're on the cruise. You have to buy a new ticket. There's problems with these tickets, and you've discovered that's 2 of them. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it would almost be it almost would be more convenient to do like a 1-day pass every time you go.
But those are so
Yeah,
expensive. The 1-day tickets are super expensive. You don't want to do that. It would be cost prohibitive. You can't.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's sort of the cost price difference between a 10-day and a 7-day? Because I'm thinking maybe because a 7-day would only give you 9 days, right? So if
Yep.
you had a 10-day ticket, you could get so many days every other day. Now you would lose some days at the end, but you could buy an additional ticket, and it just depends whether the combination of 2 different tickets financially is worth the offset of you having those rest days. Does that make sense?
I believe so. I'm just thinking because, you know, I don't know if you have time for a trip report, but, you know, I did come back from Disney World last month, and we went for 5 days in a row. I think 4 or 5 days in a row to a park, and it was just, I don't want to say it wasn't worth it, but like, once you get that 4th or 5th day in a row, you're dragging,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like, how could I make it so I don't do that again? You know, that's just my main question.
No,
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, because I understand. I mean, it's got to be rough for you. I mean, it's rough for me, right? And I mean, I
Yeah.
run the marathon
Same.
every year. And
Same.
it's rough.
So with that 10-day ticket over 12, you will get 6 days with a gap after every day. So with the 10-day ticket, you'll definitely be able to do a day rest, day rest, day rest for 12 days by having one on, one off.
Right,
And then I think at that point, maybe you work out what the additional is to have the extra couple of days. Maybe, you know, you just at the end, as Mike was saying, you have a couple of days where you go to Disney Springs or a water park, or you do something that's not in the park, and do it that way, just to prevent spending way too much on tickets that you're not going to use.
But unfortunately, if I do that, will I be wasting days in the park? of a ticket?
You could, but here's the thing: is the days at the end are you're talking like when you hit like day 8, 9, and 10, those days in the park are like $5. I'm not kidding. They're like it's like an additional $5 a day to get into the park when you hit like day 9 and day 10. It's ridiculous. I haven't looked at the scale lately, but I'm not kidding. I remember one time when I was still buying Magic Your Way tickets before I had an annual pass. I totally here's where Dad screwed up big time, right? We had an ADR on our last day for Cinderella's Roll Table, and I told Mallory, she was all excited. I didn't have enough days on my ticket because I messed up. And so I had to add a day to the ticket, and it was like day 10 on our ticket. And I'm like, oh man, we don't have enough days on our ticket to get into Magic Kingdom. So I had to add day 10 to our ticket. They're like, sir, for the 4 of you, it's going to be $22 to get into the Magic Kingdom for all 4 of you. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's only $22 for all 4 of us. They're like, yeah, because it's day 10 on a 10-day ticket. I'm like, are you serious? That's all it costs to get in today for all 4 of us? And I mean, this was like years ago. So it's inflation, right? It's more than that now. But I mean, it was ridiculous compared to like what day 1 cost to day 10. I was like, you're kidding me. And so you got to look because they front load these tickets. For a rest day, it might make sense, like Simon's saying, to say, is my rest day worth dropping $10 a day to be able to relax?
And this is the thing I was thinking, Mike, is you could look at it as you're wasting 4 days out of 10 on a ticket, right? Or you could look at it as you're going to have 6 really productive, amazing days rather than 4-5 consecutive busy days and 5 where you're not enjoying it because you're so tired because you haven't had the rest. So for me, I would get the 10-day ticket and spread it out over the 12 for sure.
Yeah. It's a good point. Well, I want to do a 10-day pass. Just like you said, I never thought about the 8, 9, and 10 day being so inexpensive. That's amazing.
Just look at it, Kevin. It's like, and again, Disney makes you crunch the numbers, right? I mean, they really make you work at it, but look at it. Yeah, look at it and say, if I buy a 4-day ticket or if I buy a 10-day ticket, what's the difference in the price? And is it going to be worth it to be able to have that rest? Because you're right. It's brutal to just keep going 4 or 5 days solid. It's hard. It's not enjoyable.
Yeah. Trust me.
No, I know.
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I get it.
It wasn't worth it. It was just bad. It was just bad. Plus, the week I was there, they had record temperatures in Florida.
No, you picked a bad week, man. It was smoking hot. Yeah. I saw it. It was like, whenever I saw the map of Florida, it was like a different color. It was a color red I'd never seen. I'm like, oh, dude. Right. I was ready to say like the devil with a pitchfork or something.
I think it's called that stay-at-home red.
Exactly. I'm like, ooh, man. Yeah. Ooh.
It's funny because my aunt and uncle, who we go down with, they're down there when we were there. They always go in May, and they're like, come down in May, come down in early May. It's beautiful. It wasn't beautiful.
I don't know what your sense of beauty is, but this ain't it. That's what I just told you. I was like, you're kind of crazy.
Exactly. The thing is, it was just hot. Like, I started July and August, and it's hot and humid, but this time it was just hot and no humidity because it didn't rain at all the whole week. There was a drizzle the day we got there, but other than that, nothing. And it was just so hot. It was 98 the one day. Fly. 98.
No, I got
Yeah.
you. That's St. Louis right now. That's exactly. It's outside the BRS Podcast Studios window as we speak. It's brutal, and hopefully it'll break before I get to go on my cruise.
It's always you, Mike.
And I know why you need your break days now. It's exactly what you've been scarred by the weather. I get it, man. I'm like, I don't want to go outside.
I'm not doing that again.
No, I get it. Well, Kevin, we got to roll because I'm gonna get a couple more questions in here, but I appreciate it and great discussion though, because it's a great way to talk about the tickets.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, hey, tell Bob when you talk to him, his hair looks great.
Yeah, it always does.
Yes, it does. We'll see you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Wow.
Good talking to you, Kevin. All right.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right. It's my good friend Kevin there out in Ohio. I love it. Great question though, because you do got to really kind of crunch the numbers of those tickets because they front load them and the back ends are so cheap because they want to keep you on site, right? They want to keep you buying souvenirs, buying food, staying in hotels. It all works out.
I also get that sense of FOMO, right? That fear of missing out. Like, it's like I've got 10 days. I've got to use 10 days. Like I need to be the part of a 10. I understand that because you pay for the ticket and you feel like you want to get your money's worth out of every penny you're spending, right? But like we're saying, sometimes it's just so important. The rest days are as important as the on days, really.
Yeah, and I mean, Kevin's he's in a chair, and you know it's demanding, right? And I mean, you know, he was down there in the heat, and I mean, I get where he's making sense. I mean, because I know how hard it is to, you know, you just go, and especially in the summertime with the heat, you have to listen to your body and slow down. And he's trying to make it make sense. And man, it's a great question, and that's for all of us. So, and D Panos over here is talking about fireworks cruise though, back for Mohawk. That'd be a good idea to see.
That's not something we've ever done, but it's definitely. I'll tell you one thing we did do, and I don't know if they brought it back yet. We did the frozen dessert party. Well, that would have been 2019. It would have been 2019, and that was fantastic. Like we were just chaining like sweets and beers and cheese and crackers and everything, and then they take you out into like the sort of, because we were upstairs because of the weather, we were upstairs above, maybe not right above the Frozen Ever After ride, but we were in one of those buildings, right? And it's normally a place, I guess, that not many of the public get to go, so it was all set up in there. Then they took us down to the side of the lake and like watch the show, and then everybody who was in that dessert party got took back to the ride, and you were loaded onto the ride to ride it as the last people riding it that day. It was fantastic. I wish they'd bring that back because that was brilliant.
I know where you were because we did a private event for our podcast where we had breakfast up there before the park opened.
Okay.
We called it BOGP Storms Norway. We had breakfast up there. It was like there were pictures of like the president, like
Absolutely, that's it.
We had a big old breakfast up there, all of us like podcast listeners, and then we got to ride. I think Soarin' before the park opened all together.
Okay.
It was wild, man. That was a fun morning. We called it BOGP Storms Norway. One of our great memories, man. That was a long time ago. It's back when the Maelstrom was still there. Okay, back to the Paulo question. Fancy dining on the fantasy because I'll be there in less than 10 days. All right, here we go. Hey, Mike, we're headed out on the fantasy on July 13th, right after you. I promise to leave her in good shape for you. All right, that'll be right after us. I randomly booked Paulo's new Prima Notte experience for the first night because our teens will be at the Teens Club, and I've heard some positive things about it. However, I realized we also have Paulo brunch booked for the very next day and Paulo dinner a few nights later. Is that too much Paulo? I mean, is too much Paulo even possible? Also, for context, we have our traditional embarkation day champagne tasting booked for 2 people that night as well. I'm sure, I'm for sure keeping brunch, but would love some advice on whether Prima Notte is worth it or too similar to dinner, and which one you'd cancel. If so, we do love wine, but we also like to feel good the next morning. Thanks for any insight and keep doing the awesome job you guys do. Happy sailing, Andrea. So she's going to be on. You know what? I don't even know what this thing is. The Prima Notte experience. I guess I know they have a dessert experience in Remy, which is like a 6-course dessert thing. It's a big popular thing. It's people come out of there just stuffed full of desserts, and you can get a wine pairing with it. But this Prima Notte experience in Paulo, I'm unsure of this, but apparently I guess it's a wine thing. But I don't know. Like, so you've been around these cruise ships, but not Disney cruise, but I mean, Palo to me is the sweet spot. I love Palo. Palo brunch is my best meal of the year. I say this all the time. It's got just great service, awesome food. I love the sticky buns. I love the chicken parmesan. I love lasagna. I love everything at Palo. And then we're doing Palo dinner because the food is so good, but they have this dessert. It's amazing. Not creme brulee. It's
like a tiramisu, or
no, it's a little cake kind of thing. They poke the hole in it and jump the sauce in. Oh, it's not creme brulee. It's got a fancy name. No. What's it called?
It's anyway, like a fondant.
Yeah, but it's so good. But it's amazing. Anyway, there's not enough Palo because this is the only time you can get it. I would say keep all three. You enjoy it.
What I was going to say is, like, how often are you going to be on this cruise ship? That's where I would start with my thinking is, okay, well, if I can get 3 trips in on it, I'm going to take 3 trips in on it, you know? Like, I've got 7 days to make the most of being on this ship. So, yeah, knock yourself out. Keep all 3 reservations.
Yeah, I mean, I would too, because that's exactly it. I mean, you only have this opportunity when you're on the Fantasy.
Yeah.
You booked it so you were interested, and you're, like, while in Rome, right? This is your
absolutely opportunity. Like, but because again, with the FOMO, what if they do something really different at each of the different times of day? You wouldn't want to walk away going, "Oh, I missed that," because I would keep all 3 for sure.
Absolutely, because if you as soon as you cancel it, somebody's going to snarf it up, and then
and it's gone.
Exactly, and then
you can't get it back.
Exactly, embarkation day. Your kid's are going to go off to the club,
and I guarantee you, Mike, it doesn't matter how sweet that dessert tastes on that dinner. You're still going to be thinking, but what happened at lunch?
Yeah, exactly.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
FOMO is real. I mean, you've been saying it. FOMO is so real, and just keep it, and just enjoy. And the thing is, enjoy it while you're there. Be like, we did the right thing. We got this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and oh man, it's gonna be get ready for the fans. I cannot wait. July 6th is ours. We get off the saddest day ever.
So close, Mike. So close.
And to see that Andrea, this is the bad thing. Like July 13th is her happiest day ever. That's my saddest day when we get off that ship. Oh, I hate that day because we go back to the airport and come home. Ooh. Okay. Skylander Stories has a question over on Instagram. Is there a viewing spot for Epcot fireworks at Topolino's, or do you just have to get lucky with your table? Wondering if there's a similar setup to California Grill. Yes, they do have. Well, at least I think I know that they did. They have like a viewing observation deck because they had a bar up there at Topolino's where you could go out and watch fireworks, similar to California Grill. Now, we watched the fireworks from our table when I was there. We had a good table back when I ate with Scott, but I believe that there was like a little bar outside area. Have you eaten at Topolino's?
So no, we haven't, but we have watched various vlogs on it because it's on our list to try. And there is a viewing platform out there because I watched on one of these videos where they were doing a bit of a talk. One of the cast members was on the balcony with the guests doing a talk, pointing out certain, tidbits and information about the resort and what they could see from the balcony. So yeah, there is a balcony up there, probably similar to California Grill. I don't know that you're as close as California Grill is, but
no, you're not. Yeah, you're not that close.
But you're probably going to see it still.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a great view. Yeah, I mean, you're still, because I've seen it from the restaurants. I told Scott, I was like, this is what it looks like if you're God looking down into Epcot. It's like we were watching it. I was like, this is what God sees every night when he wants to see the fireworks view. I mean, it's boom. You're looking down into Epcot. It's great. It's a nice view. Because I told him like I wasn't, because it was when I was still a bitter Betty because I love Illuminations. And this was when not Luminous. What was the Harmonious, right? I wasn't Harmonious, right? And he loves Harmonious, right?
The controversial one.
He loves Harmonious, dude. Scott loves. I know he's over in Norway. Dude loves loved Harmonious. And so we're sitting at the table, and I'm like, "Here's your show, man. It's playing." I'm like, "I'll tell you what." I was like, "Show looks a lot better from up here." Good. I'm like, I got to give it to you. It looks good from up here. And he's like, "Shut up," Like I'm like, "God, from up here, like it's a good view," But so we're joking about that. It does look great from up there. So yeah, but I knew like pre-COVID that was the spot to see it. There was a bar outside and stuff. So okay. And over on Instagram, DPanos04 says, planning a retirement trip for my mom, 7 adults, 3 kids. We want to make this special for everyone, so we have a large budget. Any special events, tours, meals to make this trip extra special? Wow. So big budget,
Wow.
blow it out. So what would you do if you were in this case to
I mean,
celebrate retirement?
where do you start? There's so many great things that you can do, and I suppose it comes down to taste, right? Because I'm guessing there's lots of different age demographics in the group, so you got to think about catering for everybody. So I always think, like, what's the most fancy, expensive thing you can do? It's Victoria and Albert's, right? That's probably not going to be the thing here, again, because of the demographics. So, that's tough. I think I'd need to know more about who's in the party, though.
Yeah, because I mean, well, obviously V&A is out because kids aren't allowed. I mean, that's.
But this one. So, did she say that? Sorry, there are kids in the party, are there?
Yeah, 3 kids, 7 adults. So V&A is excluded. I would start.
Okay.
Like, hey, you would obviously really want to get more information. I mean, this is super general.
Yeah,
so all we know.
But
yeah,
you got to think, if you haven't done it before, maybe eating in the castle, right? It's special. You're in there, in the heart of the Magic Kingdom, being treated like royalty. You've got the princesses, the fancy-ish food coming out on the plates. I think that's a good shout for all ages. And, grandma wants to feel like a princess as well. So it sounds like a good shout to me.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're sitting there, and the thing is, here's what I think about, like it or not, because people have hot takes on eating at Cinderella's Royal Table, right? It's expensive. Some people say the food isn't the greatest. I think you go there for the experience rather than the food. It's an experience, because we haven't eaten there for a while, but we have eaten there both with Paige, my oldest, and with Mallory. And they did the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique before, so they got dressed up like princesses, but that's beside the point. But every time we watch a Disney movie, in that introduction comes on where it does the outline of the castle.
It starts with the castle.
It takes us back to the day we ate at Cinderella Castle. Like it's ingrained with us that day we got to eat in the castle at Magic Kingdom. And I think it takes you right back to that memory. It's a special thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there are so many good options. And, once they start digging into it, it comes down to taste, what food they like, what do they want entertainment. But just like you say, for that core memory, for all the ages, I reckon in the castle, if they can swing it, is the one.
Yeah, and Deanna's saying, maybe pair that if you really want to go big with the dessert party, to see the fireworks, then you get the castle meal.
Yeah, for sure.
Fireworks dessert party right there, in Tomorrowland. Or right
start and end the day right. Go for breakfast in the castle and then go for the dessert party in the evening. I don't know.
I mean, that's it right there. That's a great Magic Kingdom day. I'll go with you. That'd be fun to sign me up. All right. Well, hey, we're going to wrap this show, but what we're going to do is we're going to come back on Friday and talk a little international travel and just some tips for folks and maybe things people don't know that you got to consider when you come over from the UK. So how about we do that on Friday?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on today's show. A little bit different there. We had some phone calls. We had some ticket discussion, and we talked a little fireworks and kinds of stuff. Great show. I love this. So Simon, thanks for coming on, and what a great show. Appreciate it.
Pleasure as always, Mike. Always happy to be here.
All right. Don't forget, we are sponsored by the Magic for Less Travel. We love to help you plan your next Disney adventure. No additional cost to you. Check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You can support us just $5 a month, and you'll get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. So coming over this week, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. You should join us just like Mohawk Scotland. He's the jam. He's awesome. He's over there all the time. We have almost 1,000 listeners over there joining us in the clubhouse. So coming over this week over at beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. Give us a follow on the social media. I'm at beourguestmike on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. And Simon, where can folks follow you on the socials?
So we're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We have a channel there where we vlog our family trips and stuff, give tips and that sort of thing. And we are Slowly Does It.
And so spell that out so people.
So SLOWELYDOESIT. Slowly Does It.
All right. So give Simon a follow and check out all his adventures as well. And we'll be back again on Friday. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have the replay of Sunday night show And I'm telling you, you're just going to want to check that one out. It's pretty fun. I mean, it's a typical show till we get the prank caller in there, and you do it's what happens when you open up the phone line. Sometimes it's all fun. All right, so we'll be back again on Friday with Simon. We're gonna have a good time this week. Yeah, everybody else is out of town, so podcast goes on, and we have fun. That's what we always do. Over 16 years of shows, we're never going to stop. So for Simon over in the UK and Mike here in Missouri, you guys have a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All right, let me save that one real quick. Save as.
You're right, Mohawk. It's there.
Well, I'll see here. 2511. Edited. Is MP3 and save. All right, let me put this guy away real quick.
I feel like Scott was sat on a ship somewhere when you started talking about Harmonious. I felt like his ears burning, you know?
I'm sure it was. It would surprise me if he was listening. Dude's everywhere.
He's like, hey, you bagging on Harmonious? What's going on?
Yes, knock it off. Let's see. Close all. He loves that show, man. I get it, man, because I'm the same way with God. I love Illuminations.
Illuminations was great. It was great. My first trips were Illuminations, so I think you spoke about it on podcast before. You resonate with your memories,
yep,
right? And
100%.
That's what you tie to. And yeah, like we had Wishes. I didn't go till I was an adult, but Wishes was the first show I saw in Magic Kingdom. But I saw a trip where Wishes was on one night and Happily Ever After was the next night. So I was there on that day when it handed over. So to see it go from one to the other, Happily Ever After at that time was like nothing I'd ever seen before. Like the projections and it, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I kind of have forgotten about Wishes because I'd only seen it twice, but I've seen Happily Ever After at this point like so many times that I've kind of forgot about Wishes. But Illuminations was always the one. It was always the show that was there.
Yeah, that's what it was for me. Illuminations, man. There are so many nights I spent in Epcot, just especially right around the Millennium Celebration. It's just and I played that soundtrack every day in my classroom when my kids came in from recess. I mean, every day it was that CD that had, and it was like a burnt. Oh, I had the real one, then I had a copy because it got scratched.
Yeah,
because I played it so much. But it was like it had Tapestry of Nations and the Illuminations.
Nice.
Because I had a copy in my Jeep. I had a copy everywhere. I just had, back then you just had CDs and old. I'm just old. I mean,
Mike Rollman, sponsored by Illuminations.
I've always said, like, if I was on an island, you only got one CD, that'd be it.
It would be that, yeah.
So, like a perfect soundtrack. And then Wishes too. All right, here we go. Let's man. All right, but yeah, the new kids like Skyline Stories, Harmonious. I get it, man. So it's the changing of the generations, man. I'm not gonna fight it. All right, here we go. 25-13. Let's see where this one goes. Oh, dang it. It did it again. Software. It's doing that. Let's see, delete that. Let's go to a short file. Let's go to this. Here. Welcome to episode 2513 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're getting ready for a big weekend, a great weekend. It's my last weekend before the big cruise. I cannot wait. I mean, I've only been counting down to the Disney Fantasy, it seems like, for 7 years, and I think it's finally going to get here next week. So hopefully this weekend we're getting all the last minute stuff from Target, Walmart. I guess there's still time to order the last minute goods from Amazon. I can't imagine there's anything else I still need. But of course, when it gets down to crunch time, I'm sure we'll figure out a few more things. But I love this time, this anticipation right before the trip where you're getting ready to go. We get to go to Old Key West for one night, stay in a 1-bedroom villa. I'm excited for that. We're ADR, Olivia's 520. I mean, come see me. We're going to be there Friday night, July 5th. Come see us next Friday night, week from today. We're going to be buttermilk chicken will be served. I promise you. I'm trying to get a table on the patio. Come see Gurgling Suitcase will be in the pool. Then we're going to be on the ship on Saturday. I cannot wait. You know how it is. We're all Disney fans. I'm amped. 7 days until we go. So I hope you're ready for a great weekend. Your next trip is right around the corner, but today we're in for another treat. We have our guest co-host joining us. We had a great time on Wednesday. No prank callers, but we had great callers, and that's always a treat. We answered your listener questions, but today we're going to talk a little international travel, a little more flavor here on the show with our special co-host, Simon from over in the UK. Simon, glad you came back after that fun on Wednesday. We're going to do this again. What's going on?
It's a pleasure to be here, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking some Disney, talking to some of the listeners. It's a pleasure to be here, Mike. You know, it really is. And I'm just wondering if you switched your Coke Zero for a Red Bull there, because that passion for getting ready for your cruise is next level. I love it. It's great.
My wife would not let me have Red Bull in the house. She does allow Mallory Celsius. I don't know if you guys have Celsius over in the UK. Is that
we do not.
Thing? I don't even know what's in it. I guess it's an energy drink that the teen girls have. It's a thing with the cheerleading squad. I know it's an energy thing. I don't touch it because I'm just high on life, man. Coke Zero's all I need. I mean, seriously, I got enough of that stuff in my bloodstream. The caffeine, I don't even know what my caffeine level is. It's probably why I got to do iron infusions, because it's probably not blood. It's probably just Coke Zero. I don't know. I drink a lot.
Honestly, though, the passion for that cruise trip, you're right. That excitement you get when you get closer and closer and closer to that trip. I'm right there with you. I mean, my next trip at this point is going to be to Paris in August, and that's still a way away, but I'm getting excited for that one. So yeah, I completely 10 days, Mike. That's nothing. It's going to fly.
Dude. Well, because plus we have a holiday here. I mean, I didn't want to bring it up because, you know, you're from the UK and it's kind of maybe still a sore point. I don't know, you know, like
we have holidays all the time. We have holidays all the time. We don't even know what they are.
I need some of that bank holiday stuff. We're talking about that. You're like, I talk to you and you're like, I'm off work today. I don't know why it's a bank holiday. Who knows? We're just off. But I need to get in on some of that because I only get off work when I go on vacation. That's it. You know, I work Christmas. You know, it's crazy. But you know, I was mentioning because, you know, it's like the 4th of July and, you know, there's like, you know, like the Revolutionary War and stuff, you know, between our countries. I didn't want to, you know, like starting internet, you know, I didn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, my sort of take is I wasn't around then, so I don't really care.
I'm just joking.
You guys have got the parks, man. I love you all.
Oh, we love you guys. You guys have fish and chips, man. That's my favorite.
I tell you what, this turned out to be a rough week for me. Beginning of the week, I was getting hounded by Mohawk from Scotland, and today it's Mike in America. Like, it's a tough week to be English for me.
It's all good. I love everybody, man. It's you know, I like international foods, like fish and chips. You know, and Scott, I don't even think he's going to come back to the United States after this cruise.
At this point, no, I think you're right. We've lost Scott to Norway and Europe. At this point, he's gone.
He is for real Scandinavian at this point. I'm for sure. I'm never seeing my best friend again unless I go somewhere where the sun never sets. I mean, God, I mean, like living your best life is never taken on. Like it's him personified in the clubhouse right now. Like,
absolutely.
So let me ask you this before we get into kind of talking about just like travel tips for folks that are international travel. This may be stuff we don't know. Today's is going to be kind of a fun Friday show. While we have you here, it's a great opportunity. But you've also performed and worked on cruise ships. You know, I'm getting to go on a cruise, and I've sailed. I'm platinum on Disney Cruise Line, so I've sailed all their ships so far. Haven't obviously sailed the Treasure yet because she hasn't sailed, but what's that like? I mean, you know, for what you can tell us, because, you know, I've always been intrigued. I've worked as like entertainment, like my dad owns a mobile DJ company. So growing up, I always worked as a mobile disc jockey. So I was always DJing wedding receptions and big high school proms and parties and carnivals and car shows. Like, you know, I was always the mobile DJ guy, you know, always behind the mic and stuff. So I always had this dream, but I'm a married dude. I'm a dad. But when I go on a cruise, I'm like, I would love to work on the cruise director staff. You know, like that'd be my jam. I'd love to host trivias. I'd love to, be the karaoke host, right? That would be like a fun job, but I know like you only see the fun part when you're the guest. Like you don't see the
For
dirty,
sure.
the other stuff. But what is it like to be on a cruise ship from that other side of the job?
Yeah, so for what I will say right off the point is that when on the cruise ships, what I didn't work anywhere near as hard as what the cruise director and his staff do, because those guys, they're 24/7. Like, Mike, right? They do the trivia, they do the bingo, they do the sail away parties by the pool. They're hosting karaoke. They're everything. These guys do everything, and they are fantastic. And so what I did, or what I do, I was in a group called the Bass Tones, right? And we're like a male vocal harmony group. So you think Jersey Boys, you think we have a group in the UK called the Overtones. You heard of Postmodern Jukebox?
No, see, I'm not. I need to learn more about this.
I think the listeners, some of the listeners will have for sure. They're very big in America as well. So we would fly out, right? So when you go to the theater on board, and you will watch the production shows, and it's got like 10, 12 people in, and they live on the ship, right? They do the shows and do the entertainment on the ship. You'll also see like a tribute act, or you'll see a comedian, and they're called a guest artist. So we were a guest artist. And what that would mean is we would fly out to a ship on, say, a Monday, and then on Wednesday night, we would do 2 1-hour shows. And then on Saturday night, we would do 2 1-hour shows, and then we would leave the ship on the following Monday. Outside of those 4-hour shows that we're doing on those 2 separate nights, we were guests just like you.
That's a great gig, isn't it? I mean,
it was fantastic because, like you, I started off as like a mobile DJ. My dad bought me some record players, and I just did pubs and clubs and whatever else. And what the cruise staff do now on board, I did that on land at holiday parks like Butlins. It's a massive holiday resort in the UK. And I was a redcoat there, and I did like the bingo and the karaoke and everything that those guys do. So that is the really hard job. By the time I was on cruise, that job I was doing on cruises, that was a dream, because I got to sing for 4 hours a week. And the rest of the week, I was like eating in the restaurant, 3 reservations a day, and seeing the world. And I was saying to you last show, the trip that Scott is on now, I did that exact same trip with a different cruise company, but as a guest artist. So we went to Stavanger, we went to Nordford, we went to all those places, Olden, like beautiful places. And all I had to do to go there was sing for 4 hours that week.
That's awesome. So
it's fantastic. There's videos of me and the guys on YouTube performing on the celebrity cruise ships and P&O cruise ships, and you search the Bass Tones and you'll find us.
I'm totally looking that up, and I'm jealous because I mean the thing is too is like for folk like us, like entertaining is fun. Like I love doing the show. Like I would rather do the show than watch a show. Like that's exciting for me. That's part of it. Like
exactly right.
You're the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like of all the jobs I've done, and there have been many, I always come back to performing. Like it's in you, right? It's just you have to do it. It's at this point it's not an option. I have to do it. It's what I have to do. Like I love watching shows. I love performing in shows. Same way for you.
Yeah. So this show, because this show is a Friday show, and it's great to have you here, with this kind of cool expertise. Let me ask you this. So like when you've done these, I don't know, it's probably not I guess it's kind of a modified contract. Not the long length of a contract that like somebody like a cruise director staff person would have, or, like a waiter or something on a cruise, but these specific things. But like, what's something that you've got to experience that's like really special, that really sticks out? Have you performed with like special guests on your cruise, or have you been on a cruise where something crazy has happened? I mean, give us a couple stories maybe.
There's always a story, right? Like there's so many. Like I remember picking up a ship in South Carolina, and we landed. We got there. It was like one of the most chaotic airport experiences I'd ever had. Like this security guy was drilling down on me because I just legged it from check-in desk to the gate because they were like, "Oh, you're late. You need to run, otherwise you're going to miss it." So, man, we were tailing it through. I fell over a bench, like it was crazy. Like I went. By the time I got to this guy on security, I was sweating. I couldn't breathe. I was like, and he's like, "Show me your boarding pass, please." I was like, "There." He's like, "Where are you going?" I couldn't remember where we were going. I was like, I'm getting on a cruise ship and I'm singing. He's like, "Sir, I just need to know what country are you traveling to?" I was like, "America." I don't know where I'm going.
Oh God. You're in South Carolina. We have, by the way, we have this show called On Patrol Live, which is it's a form of this other show called Live PD, which the wildest police chases always happen in South Carolina. For the record, I'm just saying, you were in the wrong state.
And all I needed to tell him was, "I'm getting on a ship in the port of South Carolina." Done. But I couldn't, for the life of me, pull it out of my mind. So anyway, we rushed to get to the ship, and it's supposed to be like a short 4-day crossing or whatever. And we board. We finally get on the ship, and then they tell us, "Okay, we're going to take a detour because there's hurricanes or tornadoes or whatever in the Atlantic." Oh, sorry. So we end up having to go down, all the way down, and across to Portugal, and then back up to England through the roughest seas I have ever experienced in my life. So the funny story within this is, one night we're on the ship and we're performing, right? So we do the first show and we're sort of doing our routines. We got dance routines and we're moving around, and I do this sort of step ball change, and as I move, the stage just completely disappears from under my feet because it's moved at such a level. I've gone to jump and gone right up in the air because the stage has gone down. And like that show was like terrifying because we'd never experienced that before. So we get to the end of that show, we made it through. And then in the interval, the cruise directors come down. They go, "Guys, great job. Thank you so much for getting through that. It was, can't thank you enough. Are you okay to go on and do the second one?"
Yeah. No.
And there's 3 of us. And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, no, let's do it." The other guy's like, "Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we can do that." The third guy, Mark, my friend Mark, he's sat in the chair and he's green at this point. Like, and he's like, "I'll do it." He's like, just nodding, "I'll do it." And as we're having this discussion, you hear the biggest crash, right? And the boat has gone so hard, the whole drum kit that's weighted down has flew off the riser and into the wing. And within 30 seconds of that happening, the captain phoned down backstage, "The show is cancelled. Take yourself to midship, get a ginger beer and ride out the storm."
Oh my gosh. I've always wondered that because I mean, it's just a spectator. I've been in, and I mean nothing like the seas I'm sure that you were in, right? Because I've been in the Walt Disney Theater on the ships, for the Disney Cruise Line, and like you just notice, like you're sitting in the theater and you see the curtain sway, right? That's your first thing. Like
That's it. That's it.
And and I'm like, but the actors never flinch, and sometimes they're up on, they're like Peter Pan's floating up, up in the sky in the theater and stuff, and like they never bat an eye, and I think it's such professionalism that it's like they're on land, but then you like we're at sea and these people are dancing around and stuff, and this ship is rocking, we're out at sea. It's amazing.
And the thing is, these ships are built with such incredible stabilizers that for you to feel that, it has to be so bad outside because they're built for this, right? They're built to handle this weather and these seas. But yeah, it was probably up there with one of the roughest trips that we ever had. But as a flip story to that, one of my your favorite memories, we were on the trip that Scott's on now, and we went to a port called Oldham, and they did this free shuttle from the ship to a fjord, and it was about, I don't want to say 10 miles. And so you drive 10 miles through this fjord and you hit a dead end because you basically come face to face with like a waterfall, right? And so the coach will let you get off for 10 minutes and then drive back. We got off and then we're like, "Yeah, we'll just go. We'll get the next one," because they keep coming back all day. And we noticed as we were coming in, there's like a camping ground. And so we walked down to the camping ground, and they've got like canoes and kayaks and everything, and they let us take one. So the three of us jumped in this sort of big canoe, and we just kayaked down a fjord. And I was like, man, this is amazing. Like, it doesn't get any better than this. You know what happened? You know exactly what happened. That canoe went upside down, and we were freezing our butts off in a Norwegian fjord. But it's a memory, right? And it's like, when will we ever do this again? Like, I could say I've been swimming in a fjord.
That's true. And I mean, probably you're thinking for a few times this might be the last swim you ever take too, because it's so cold. Hypothermia is going to set in here quickly.
Well, me being the guy I am, I'm thinking, how much they're going to charge me for this canoe if it's damaged?
That's true. Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, I just did the last 7 gigs for the cost of this canoe.
But what I will say is, it gave me the opportunity, and still does, to do the job I love in like some of the biggest, grandest theaters that exist, because some of the theaters on these ships, and you'll know, Mike, they're equivalent to some of the London West End theaters. They're that big. They house so many people, and to play with a live band in that atmosphere and be supported by like the cruise director and their team, it's a wonderful experience. And then, like, you know, we spend the rest of the week feeling like stars, because everybody's seen us perform, and like they all want to have dinner with the bass tones, you know. It's like, oh, we'll come and sit at your table. And you're like, you understand it, right? Everybody wants to catch you when you're in the park, sort of thing.
Well, see, and I wonder, like, because I mean, I'm kind of a geek, right? But I mean, like, I remember like the hypnotist guy, right? I mean, he was awesome in the adult club. Like, he did this. So Scott got big time. He got hypnotized, dude. He was like a fireman. He had a baby. I mean, on our podcast cruise, when we did the 7-nighter, this was like in 2017. Like, I mean, it's Scott, right? He's funny as it is, but dude, he got hypnotized, and everybody was talking about Scott for the rest of the cruise. But the hypnotist guy was so good. Like, I just wanted to like meet the guy. So like I had selfies with him, and that's what I was wondering, because, and you just nailed it, right? I mean, I love interacting with like the entertainers, like the bingo guy, Dino, the bingo guy, like because they make or break your cruise experience. And I love the live entertainment. And the thing is too, is when you go on a cruise, the live entertainment is what brings the cruise to life. Yeah, the ship's fun, the dining's fun, your wait staff is great, your room host is awesome, but the live entertainment, it really does bring the ship to life every night, even during the day, sometimes like on deck and stuff. I mean, I appreciate what you guys do. I mean, it sounds like you just have a blast on the other end of it.
Oh, absolutely. I'll say it's the most favorite job I've ever done. And it's strange to call it a job. It almost feels criminal to call it a job because you love it so much, but what better job to have than one that you enjoyed like so much. And you're right, the entertainment, it changes everything, and it can break it as well. So yeah, it's great. It's great.
So let's kind of keep this to cruising. I'm cruising here in a week.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're halfway through. So let me ask you this: like, what tips have you picked up for folks maybe that are cruising for the first time, or even for folks like me that are taking their 18th, 19th cruise? Like, what have you found like practical cruise advice? Because you have to jump in and out of these ships, and packing or
sure. I mean, one thing, it's a little bit different for us because we have to bring everything that you would bring as a guest, but then we have to bring our stage stuff as well. So we've inevitably got more. And the good thing with, like, as with the cruise, you could take as much as you want, as much as you can carry. You could take it. But what I would say is, it doesn't mean you have to. You don't have to take everything, but take what you're comfortable with, put on the nice suit, do the nice formal night, 9 times out of 10, that wouldn't be my thing. I wouldn't choose to put a tux and a bow tie on, once a month, but on a cruise, I'm going to do it because I want every experience that I can get. So I'll go and play deck quoits. I don't even know what deck quoits was, but I played it and I loved it. And that's it. It's do the thing, eat the thing, go and see the thing. Like, whatever the thing is, just do it. Because when you've paid so much to have this experience as much as you can. And don't be afraid, because, excuse the pun, everybody's in the same boat. Like you're all in it together. So just get on in there. Like have the 3 reservations at the same restaurant. Go for it.
Yeah, it's great advice. I mean, that is kind of the thing I like about cruising is that, for one thing, I say this too, when we do these podcast cruises, right? We've done 6 of them. We've just announced the 7th one. We're gonna all sail the Magic in July of next year. New ship to us, one of the classic ships. We're gonna go to the new island. We're gonna have a good time. We always have a blast sailing together. I mean, everybody who sailed with us in 2017 and saw Scott hypnotize me, they'll never forget that. It was wild. I met Scott on one of the podcast cruises, and we're best friends. I mean, it's kind of how this stuff goes.
I'm gonna have to get a track of those dates, because maybe that will be our first Disney cruise.
Oh man, it'd be so much fun. But it's just because it's like, because you know how it is. Like on a cruise, you get to sit down and just hang out with people, right? You get to share a slice of pizza at the at the pub and watch a game, but hang out and talk. And I mean, it gives you that time to just relax and get to know people. And that's how I got to meet Scott and his family. And like, we're like, thicker than thieves now. But so like you were saying though, with a cruise, one of the things I really enjoy about a cruise from like the guest side of things is that, you can kind of cut loose and you can sing karaoke, or you can go to a tequila tasting, and you don't got to get too crazy. But the thing is, for the most part, you're never going to see those people again ever. Like,
Absolutely.
So don't be so worried and uptight. You know what I'm saying? You don't get, I'm not saying you got to be crazy and like rip your shirt off and stuff like that. You still got to be, you got to be cool. But the thing is, like, it's okay to sing a karaoke song if you're an accountant. You know what? Like, those people, you're not going to see them again. Have some fun for once in your life, and try the extra dessert, spoil yourself for a week.
That's exactly it. Like it's making the most of those experiences. And I always like to try and do a new thing. Like, what's a new thing that I can do that I've never done before? Because when are you going to get the chance again? Life's short. Like, make the most of it. I love that you guys always say plan a travel day ahead of joining the ship, because we have seen a lot of people miss their ships because they just misjudged it, and some of the worst ones is people almost enjoy themselves too much in port and miss the sail away. So then they're just left there and have to try and catch up with the ship somewhere else, because it's the ships have strict things they have to stick to, that they can only be in port for so long and that sort of thing. So yeah, just always be aware of your itinerary. I would say that's the most important.
Oh, I know. I mean, there's a Love Boat episode where Captain Stubing left Vicky behind because the princess had to sail. He left Vicky behind. I mean, if that isn't proof that you will get left at your port if you just try to hang out for one last margarita and think, what, I can still run a 6-minute mile and get to that ship. No, you can't. After that 7,
not after 6 margaritas.
You can't. I don't care. You are not going to qualify. It is not going to happen. And like, so we were talking in the Discord with Hero for Hire. He's like, here's my stateroom number, my first cruise. I don't know if I'm port or starboard. And I'm like explaining, I'm like, dude, you're on this side, and I said, because he's on Castaway Key, he's going to be on the side where it overlooks the port instead of the island. And I said, but it's awesome, because I said, right at sail away, man, get out on your veranda and just watch, because there will be people running up to that ship when it's getting ready to sail. I was like, have your camera ready, because they'll be scrambling. I was like, it has its own joy when you're on that side of the ship, because I've been on both sides. And it's fun. I mean, it's fun because it's not you.
The Germans call it Schadenfreude, right?
Yeah, exactly. As long as it's not you, it's fun. It's like,
absolutely.
I mean, isn't it the thing? Like the cruise director always says, if it is you, it's going to be a great shot. Have your camera ready, get that great shot of the rear end of the ship pulling out of port, because it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, your video is going to go viral the next day.
That's so fun. I love this show. Okay, so let me ask you. So, what is one of the cool things you've done, like from the guest side of things on a cruise ship, that maybe you never expected you would do? Because you've probably been on different lines and stuff. And I mean, cruise ships have now become amusement parks at sea. I mean, we've ice skated on Royal Caribbean. We've been on Freedom of the Seas, and we've surfed, on Flow Rider. We've climbed rock walls. We've done all the crazy stuff on the Disney Cruise Line ships, Aqueduct, you know, that kind of stuff, the Aqua Mouse. What's some of the stuff maybe you've got to experience?
Yeah, I mean, you sort of just hitting them all in one bat there. You know, you get like the onboard surf. Well, I would call it a surf pit, but I'm not sure what the correct term would be. But you know the thing, like a wave rider. So
Yeah.
you know, you got that, and you know you say so many of them got flumes, and it's like a water park on the top deck. It's, you don't need to go to a water park because it's on the ship, you know. But honestly, some of the off ship excursions can be fantastic, and things I never thought that I would do. Like, so we went to Amsterdam, right? And there was this excursion where you had to get up at 3 a.m. and get on the coach at 4, and it would take you off to the world's biggest and busiest flower auction wholesale warehouse. And I got asked if I would be like a tour leader, because they was one short. Do you want to go? You know, you do it for free, but you need to make sure everyone who gets on the coach gets back on and back on the ship. So fine,
So
no problem.
You're all of a sudden an elementary school teacher, like count them
Absolutely.
up. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got a little yellow sticker that apparently makes me responsible for 50 adults. Like, so yeah.
Totally.
So we all pile onto this bus, and it's really sort of quiet and chilled. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and not many people are vibing. They're regretting their decision to 100%. Do this trip, you know.
Especially people got in at like 2:30. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. And but then we get there to this, and it's very unassuming to look at from the outside. And you walk in, and I kid you not, you've seen the scene in Willy Wonka, right? He opens the doors to that first room, and like all the chocolate, everything everywhere. It was like that, and there was just, it was amazing. It was like every flower you could ever imagine just whizzing by you at 100 miles an hour, and you got this room where people are just calling in from all over the world, bidding on flowers, and they take you through the journey. So someone will bid on that flower, and within 24 hours, it will be in their country. However many they order, within 24 hours, it will be on their doorstep in their country. It was, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I was going to be so enthusiastic about flowers, but it was amazing. Like that geek aspect, right? You got people flying around on these
logistics, right? I mean,
yeah, that's it.
That's why we all like Disney so much, because it's not, it's the magical, fun travel part. But I mean, I think at the heart of like why we like Disney so much, for a lot of us, it's the logistics of how they pull it off.
Yeah, how do they do this? Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, and in the warehouse, like there's like hundreds of people. So you know, you have a Segway that you stand up on. It's like that, but a forklift truck or a pallet lifter, if you know what I mean. But the forks are on the back behind them, so they can't see the forks. But they whiz around at like 100 miles an hour, and they're backing in, getting trolleys, and boom. And they take like 10, 20 trains of flowers in one go, and you're like, right, people must die in this factory, but they don't. Like, it's crazy. But that is one of those things that I'd never in my wildest dreams did I think that would be something that really floated my boat, but it was fantastic.
And that's it, you know, and that's one of those things, like you said, I'm going to give it a shot, you know, like, I mean, you on the surface though, you're like, it's a flower auction, you know, like, but I mean, that's totally it. You know, that's like, I've been joking with my wife, right? Because I've been watching these vlogs, because again, I'm like itching to go. I've been really itching to go for like past 4 or 5 months. So I've been looking at all the vlogs for our Eastern Caribbean cruise, and people keep ordering this thing called a pecan tart, like a Southern pecan tart or something for dessert in one of the restaurants. I have no idea what that thing is, but I'm like, I keep telling my wife, I'm getting this Southern pecan tart thing. I don't know what it tastes like. I don't even know what it's about, but I'm like, everybody orders it, and I'm getting it, and I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to like it. But it's who knows? But I'm going to be sad if I don't like it, because I've been hyping this thing up for 90 days. So that's kind of the cruise thing.
So I'll give you a little tip that might help. And I'm sorry to circle all the way back to my original ever Trip Report podcast with you, right?
No, it's great.
But we're going to talk Walmart for a second, okay? Because because every time we come over, we go to Walmart, right? And they have this pecan tart, and it's like just a singular thing in a box, and it's normally like 69 cents, and that thing is divine. It's like, I need to get me one of them. I need it with a coffee. Tomorrow morning, this is what I'm having. That's my breakfast. But if you want to try and preempt what it might be like, and if you might like it, go to Walmart and get the 69 cents pecan tart. It's like a little circular slice of heaven. It's wonderful.
That makes me happy. That makes me. Here's the deal, dude. I'm too close to spoil it at this point. It'd be like you're right at this point watching the Tiana's Bayou Adventure, like that POV video, because I'm not watching.
Yeah,
it. Good try.
I take it back. Don't do that.
No way. I'm like a week out now, dude. That'd be like I've been hyped. I'm you know what? It's a Walmart one. I mean, God bless Walmart. It's right down the street. I'm in Missouri. They're everywhere. But I mean, this is Animator's Palette or whatever, Enchanted Garden. I don't know which restaurant it is, but I'm going to be watching that menu like a hawk. And the night it's on the menu, I'm like, bring 2 of those bad boys. And like, my wife's going to have one. Bring me 2. She can have one. Bring them for the table. Like, I don't care. I've been looking forward to this bad boy for 3 months. And I mean, even if I don't like it, I'm going to, you're an actor.
You're eating it.
I'm gonna be an actor that night, man. I'm gonna have the biggest grin on my face. I can it tastes like dirt. I'll be like smiling, just chucking that thing down and loving life. I mean, it's gonna be
because even if you don't like it, it doesn't matter. You're sat on a Disney ship eating a dessert, so it's win-win. Whatever happens.
Yeah, I mean, they could be back in the kitchen like, watch, I'm gonna serve this guy dirt and call it a pecan tart, and like just watch.
Just put a pecan right on top of it. Like, there you go.
Exactly. I mean,
that is like the best description. Like, it's like avoiding all spoilers for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and the hour before you get on it, just watch the video. No.
Oh, dude. I mean, Disney's hitting us so hard with so many I mean, they put out their own POV video. I'm like, Disney, knock it off. Like, I'm just trying to like be unspoiled. And I don't even know what I'm going to get.
One of the last shows I heard before I went away on my sort of work travels and stuff was you talking about this very thing, about them dropping that video and you trying to avoid it. And because of that, I've actively stayed away from most social media just in case. Because I'm like you, right? It's a new experience, and there's not many of those to have in Walt Disney World for a lot of people. And to be able to go and have that new thing, I don't want to spoil it by watching a video beforehand.
I'm saying, yeah, you just don't get that many new experiences, and I just want it. And I don't even know when I'm getting back before marathon weekend. I mean, that's probably the next time. You know, but I say that, and sometimes in the fall, opportunities come up for just little short like weekends and stuff. So maybe, but why spoil it by watching a video? I mean, and it's not a whole. I mean, the track's the same and everything, but you know, but
it's new. It's new.
It is.
It counts for sure.
Exactly, and so I'm good now. I'm kind of mad about the shooting arcade becoming a DVC like lounge. That's
I mean,
but come on. I mean, even if I was a DVC member, I think I'd feel the same. I'm not that way because I'm not DVC. I just think that because I'm happy for DVC people. I know that you spend a lot of money, and I want you to have perks. I totally am all about DVC people getting perks, but like taking out something that everybody has access to let some people have access to, I'm not cool with that.
I completely agree. It's not one of those things that I have massively used, but I definitely would use it with the boys. And there's so many other places, right, that the lounge could go. So does it have to be there? Is that like really hurting anybody? It's another experience, I think, that just goes away. Like you say, it's taken away from the many for the few, and that's not cool.
So let me ask you this, because it's been a fun 80% of the show talking about your experiences with cruise, and it's helped me kind of kill 40 minutes or give me 40 minutes closer to the fantasy, which I'm sorry, I'm just taking advantage of that. But you're headed to Paris here, you say, in August. So what are you looking forward to? Scotty G is going to be there here in less than a week. He's got 24, but he's got 1 day there, so he's got probably 8 hours.
He's got to cram that in,
yeah, he's going to be crazy. But after not seeing a sunset for 2 weeks, he'll be manic. He'll be just wild. But what do you like advice, or what do you like the best about going to that destination? What are you looking forward to?
So what I love about Paris, and having never been to Disneyland California, I don't know for sure, but what I get from listening to your guys' trip reports and podcasts is, as in Paris, that the two parks are so close, and you can go one to the other with little to no trouble at all. And that's really nice because there's lots of elements in both parks that different ones within our group like, you know, Sully is cars mad. He loves cars, and you know, they've got a couple of cars related things over there, so we can start the day off in, you know, Disneyland Paris Park, which is their Magic Kingdom, I guess, and do all the big hitters. You know, you got Pirates and Small World and all those fantastic things that really make you feel like you're in Disney. And then we can just hop over there in the afternoon and scratch his itch with doing something, and we just keep bouncing around, you know, the whole trip. But I think what we're most looking forward to is just being back in it, because we were in World in August, and it just feels like forever. It, you know, it always feels like forever in between trips. And I think the closer you get, the longer it feels, right? So you're 10 days away from your cruise now, and like every 40 minutes probably feels like 40 days, because you just want to be on there. And what I always try and sort of bear in mind when we get there is enjoy every moment, because it's going to go so quick. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So when you get there, make the most of every opportunity. Like I said about when you're on the cruise, you want the ice cream, have the ice cream. You want to do the experience you've never done before, do the experience. Want to buy a balloon and your kid's going to pop it 10 minutes later, so be it. It's fine. You're in Disney. It doesn't matter, you know?
That's such great advice. I mean, that's so right. I mean, because time, when you get to a Disney destination, time accelerates, right? Because it drags when you're waiting for it. And then once you get there, it's like, you know, you arrive on a Saturday and you're going home on a Friday. It's like, you know, you get there and all of a sudden it's Thursday. Like you turn around and like you got 2 days to go. And like you've been looking forward to the trip for 9 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's ridiculous how fast it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the only way to ever really get ahead of the Disney blues is to have that next trip planned. You always have to have something in the bank, right, to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree. So real quick, because we got to wrap here, but man, it's been fun. But like, how's Sully like looking forward to the trip? Like, what does? You got to hear like an update on Sully. He is
great. I spoke to. I was letting him know before he went to bed, like I was going to come on and talk to you guys today, and he was like, "Oh, you know what time is it? Do I need to come and say hello?" I was like, "No, you absolutely do not. You need to be in bed. Like you got school tomorrow." But you know, I asked him the other day. I was like, what's one of your favorite memories? And I didn't even throw Disney in there, and he was like, Cosmic Rewind. Like that was like just one of his generic favorite memories. I'm like, why? He's like, well, it breaks down a lot, but when it works, it's really fast.
And he'll really like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I have a feeling, because it's been on the struggle bus.
Well, we were sort of having this discussion as he was going to bed, because I'm convinced he did and Susie was convinced he hadn't, but we sort of went through and checked, and he actually did ride Tower of Terror. He went on it and he went, "No, Mummy, yeah, I did, because there's a floating eyeball and then you go zoom 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 zoom."
That kid is something, man.
It's funny how they remember these details. That I forgot there was a floating eyeball and thing in Tower of Terror, but they latch onto these things, you know. Little bit of news, like breaking news.
Yes,
I am now an annual pass holder for Walt Disney World.
Look at you.
So
and I'm not, because I was going to renew mine, and my wife threw away the renewal notice, and I was going to post it there so I didn't forget, and I forgot to renew it. And so I'm like, well, at this point.
So we have our family trip next year, which is going to be a little over 2 weeks in August. I'm going to come out in September this year. I've really gotten into Disney pins. There's like a whole massive community in the UK, and I've made some really nice friends through it. And so there's like an event that's happening, and they're like, "Oh, you should come." And I've never been over there without Susie and the boys before, so it's a bit, I don't know, like I'm not sure. And Susie's like, "Yeah, go do it. You should like absolutely go do it." So it was like, well, if I'm going to come over there for then, and then, you know, the possibility of Run Disney in January, and then next year in August, all of a sudden financially it starts to make sense. Then you throw in the free parking and the discount on merchandise and food, and then before you know it you have to have one because it just would be ridiculous not to.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard Disney math at its finest. That's what that was.
So what I'm
Yeah,
hearing
it
as
does.
well is more opportunities for a pub sub, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, Walmart and Publix. I mean, boom. That's
So-
America right there, baby.
So September's in the fall for you, right, Mike? If you're free around the 11th, then let me know.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past. It's football season. That just makes it tough because I can't get out during football season.
Yeah,
man. I don't travel during football, but we'll see. I'd love to be down there to see you, man. That'd be awesome. But well, it's early. We're still optimistic in September. You know, we haven't made.
Yeah, of
We're
course.
still-
You're still full of all the joy and the hope and the
On November, you know what's gonna happen. Like
absolutely. Like it's like England right now. We're top of the group. We've got a game tomorrow. We're probably going to go through. So we're like, yeah, we're going to win it.
exactly.
Give it a week. That dream is
know.
going to be gone.
Still optimistic in September. By the beginning of September, yes, you can still win a natty, but who knows? By November, we know. Well, hey, what a great week, man, Simon. I appreciate because I know you stayed up way late, and it's been so much fun for me, and I know our audience loves it. So thanks for coming on this week, and best of the family. Tell Sully I hope he has a great week at school, and we love having him here, kind of via you. So thanks again for the week.
No, thank you so much, Mike. It's an absolute honor and a pleasure. Like I was telling Suze, like it's so exciting for me to be able to come on and talk to you guys. Like since that first show, I've had so many of your community reaching out like, oh, I love the show, you guys, Sully's awesome, like, and then they watch the videos of Sully on YouTube and they're like, God, that is nuts. And it's just been so lovely and such a pleasure to be a part of. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready to come back. I've got stories here I didn't even get to, and it's just like a whole thing, man. Like whenever if you need a filler, I'm here. I got you, man. I got you.
It's going to happen again, brother. We'll do it again as soon as, and trust me, we'll have time. So just be ready. I got your email. We'll do it again.
Always.
Right.
Thanks for having me. And
All right, have a great week.
Thanks to your listeners for tuning in as well.
All right. Don't forget, our show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We are here this weekend to help you plan a great Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details right now over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all this possible. So thank you so very much for that. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Just $5 a month is all we ask. And you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. So coming over, patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Come over and join the community over at the Clubhouse. We have so much fun over there with over just about 1,000 listeners of the show. We hang out 24/7. beourguestpodcast.com/Discord for that. The conversation just goes on and on, pictures and stories and all kinds of fun. And Scott's live updates from his great cruise doing back-to-backs over in Europe. It's so much fun. So we'll look for you over there this week, and give us a follow on social media. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. I'll be posting from my trip here shortly in just a week. So give me a follow to get ready for that. And of course, give Simon a follow. One more time, Simon, where can people check you out as well?
You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We do a lot of posting of photos and shots from holidays there. And our YouTube channel, which is where a lot of our stuff goes on, our vlogs from our trips and tips videos and things like that. And we are Slowly Does It. SLOWELYDOESIT. Slowly Does It, because the slows move slowly.
I love it. And the story is on the very first trip report. I can check that out on the Monday show about a month and a half ago. So check that out. All right, we're going to turn everybody loose and hope you have a great weekend. What a fun week. And we'll be back at it again on Monday with a fun trip report. But until then, have a fun weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Simon, thanks so much. It was so fun.
Oh, my pleasure. I know we didn't quite go where we planned, but that was so much fun to talk about. So fun.
That was so much fun for me, and I think our listeners will love that because we never have the opportunity to hear that side of things. And that was just
it's a different aspect, right? It's always nice to sneak behind the curtain, right, and see what goes on.
Totally. Like I'm serious, man. Every time I'm on a cruise, I'm like always so jealous because Like, I mean, it's just like my personality. Like when I'm on the cruise, I'm like, God, I would love to be doing that. Like more than like, I'd love to be the person, like, just the club host, rather than just being the person. But that was just, because I worked at a club called Corvettes, that was like the club, and it was just fun, but yeah, I'm also older now. So who needs an old dude?
Do you know what though? Like, because on some of these cruises that you go on, they will do like a guest show. So they'll do like a guest talent show, and like you could do whatever you want. Like you juggle a plate on your nose if that's your talent. Like you do it, but they'll also have like somebody who will like host with the host. Man, you could do that.
Oh my God,
it could be a thing. Yeah,
I haven't done it for years. That'd be so fun. No, I enjoy just letting everybody do their thing. I can turn it loose now. But it is fun seeing the talent. The funniest thing is, like, I'm like, I could be a part of that cruise director staff until they start dancing. And I'm like, no, I can't, because I can't do choreographed dances. I'm like,
come on, surely you've got a YMCA in your arsenal. You could do that, right?
I have that, and I have the chicken dance, because I did Midwest wedding receptions. So I have in the Macarena. I can do those three. Those are my arsenal.
Man, you get a full-time contract with those.
Exactly. That's it. That's it. Maybe the cha-cha slide, if I got, if we get people drunk enough, I can do cha-cha slide.
You're getting a bit modern. You're getting a bit modern for yourself now with cha-cha slide. Like, slow down. You're getting carried away.
That's called the Midwest wedding reception right there, man. I'm telling you. That's it. That's all you got to do. You get them going, man.
Mate, that's universal. That's universal. That's absolutely.
Hey, I got to run. Hey, Simon, I appreciate you, buddy. Tell the family I said hello, and we'll definitely do this again. It's been so much fun.
I look forward to it, Mike. Thanks for having me, man. Have a good enjoy Taco Bell, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I will. I'm glad we're friends, buddy. Thanks.
You too, man. Take care.
All right. Goodbye.